Oh, I don't even vote in there.
All right, for the pledge.
Those are 88 votes, something like that. Yeah.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I got it again.
Just went.
Short chair.
We just need to get a chair.
Wish my height would shrink like that.
What's my weight?
Mine too.
Me too.
All right, I'll look, for a motion to approve the agenda. I would like to add discussion on 126 and drainage. Does anything else have to be added?
With that, I'll make a motion to add that. Second it.
Okay, we have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda's approved. Approve the minutes from July 28th.
I'll make that motion.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. General public concerns. Hearing none. We'll move down to Ben.
Morning.
Morning, Ben.
Got a couple items for you for the agenda. The first is to accept and place on file the official report for the county highway engineer for fiscal year 2025 for Humboldt County. This is our annual report that has to be submitted to the DOT.
Way to make an entrance, Matt. Yeah. Poor
You didn't
guy.
turn your back.
I leaned too far back.
Any changes that we didn't have from before?
This is, like I said, this is our annual report. It's due by the 15th of September every year. Submitted to the DOT and the Board of Supervisors to put on file. This lists all of our expenditures, all of our incomes or revenue sources, new equipment, construction projects. This is basically the past year for the county, so.
And I have a question on page 3. Says disaster, FEMA disaster aid.
Yep.
$33,000, is that from the flood last year?
Part of it.
And then what happens, say, we'd lose a bridge? Would that go into that, and then you just, that's carried till the federal government decided what they do, or how?
So the 43,000 is roughly half of the payment for FEMA for the repairs that were done last year. The way that FEMA works is it's a reimbursement for expenses. So in the event that we were to lose a bridge, we would end up funding that bridge out of pocket or through HPP revenue from the state, and would request reimbursement from FEMA. This is assuming that FEMA obviously declared it as a disaster and we go through all of the necessary steps.
But it'd be way down the road.
Yeah, knock on wood, that never happens,
Yeah.
because trying to get reimbursed for these smaller projects for road repairs and corn stalk cleanouts, things like that. That's what this reimbursement is. I mean, we're a year plus down the road from the event and we're still trying to final out and get paid.
And isn't there so much time that you'd have to have it done by, if it's over a certain time, they don't pay?
You have to apply within a certain amount of time,
Okay.
and then obviously, you know, there's extensions and things like that, but you have weekly
Meeting.
bi-weekly meetings with FEMA as you're progressing along.
And they have
So-
different people. Is that the one where they always have different people, someone different?
They transition, I think we're on our fourth representative for FEMA, so. And then you've got obviously the Iowa version, which is Iowa Homeland. So whatever they decide on for your payment or your reimbursement, the most that you're gonna get is 75%. So
Okay,
Salaries, does that include all the benefits? and vacation?
what page are we?
Page 4, very top, salaries is 170,000 for, then the engineering salaries are down below it. 707,001,
Yeah, that would include
that's everything.
everything. So, salaries listed is gonna include, FICA, IFRS, health insurance, all of that.
Wonder if it was included or not, that's all.
Yep.
Any other questions on the? What do you project to go up the most next year?
In the current year that we're in.
No,
Nothing, we're-
much last year.
We're pretty well flat, stagnant as far as. I mean, wages all stayed flat, Paving will go down because we don't have paving this year, so construction side will go down from what you see on this report.
Equipment, even.
okay, let's,
Equipment will be. I think basically 500,000. I mean, we've got. Signed agreements for. 2 tractors. I'll end up having a budget amendment at some point because our dump truck is still sitting at highway truck. That was supposed to be delivered. It was on the books for this current fiscal year. And we were supposed to take delivery of it, I think, in January or February. And it's still sitting at highway truck. We've talked about it at one time. I think the plan is for future purchases, we're gonna put like a drop dead date, just like they impose penalties on us. We're gonna start imposing penalties on them.
Yep.
So,
that makes sense.
Off subject a little bit, did you get your sign truck back?
not yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna, I've got an email with pictures. I'm gonna take the foreman down and take a look at it before it goes to auction.
So what truck? Sign truck.
We going in the sign bank?
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
on sign banking business.
Sorry, look at it, so.
Yeah, I wanna work with DK and PC and.
Oh, good luck with that. I was up there last week and, yeah. I'm sure Rock will probably go up too on it.
Yeah, I mean, the cost of doing business isn't going down. Rock prices are going up, paint for striping's going up. Sand, salt, chloride. Everything that we use to do our job, repairing equipment is going up, so.
Simple things like stockpiling save us a ton of money from the increase from this year to next year, some other times.
Yep, yeah, that's usually why we try starting hauling rock in December if we have a mild enough winter.
Yep.
All rock before the cost increase on Jan 1.
You have Scott taking care of us and
Scott is taken care of.
Well, I'm gonna make the motion to accept and place on file the official report for the county highway engineer for FY 2025 for Humboldt County.
I'll second. Okay, we have a first and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to the next, working the right of way.
So this is a high priority work in the right of way permit.
Jeez, who's that for? Special treatment.
This is for a new house at 1940 Quebec Avenue. To bore power underneath Quebec, across the road to new acreage. So,
Mhm. Should tune you up, it's good.
Huh?
Fine.
Finally. This is for Trish's house.
Oh.
We moved in by winter,
Who?
you moved in by winter,
Yeah,
Well, I'll make that motion to approve the application to work in the right of way for Midland Power.
second day.
We have a first and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we have set a date and time for the Board of the Supervisors to score the master matrix.
So, yeah, the third and the fourth one, I guess, are tied together. This is the first time that I've dealt with a request for a new hog facility. Talking to the DNR last Friday, they said they used to, just our district used to get 300 plus of these a year. And they said now they deal with between 30 and 40 a year. So a lot of people at the DNR office don't even really deal with these new facilities anymore.
Okay.
But the way that I understand it is we have to advertise within 2 weeks, which will have it in Thursday's paper that people can submit,
Voice their opinion.
voice their opinion on the location. There's a site visit tomorrow morning. I think it's 10 AM. I don't remember. I sent you guys an email with the time, but I believe it's 10 AM on site. Rose Avenue and 120th Street with representatives from Pinnacle as well as, Summit. I believe it's Summit Farms.
Exactly what it is.
Yes. And the DNR as well. And then 10 o'clock. And then we have to, review their scoring on the master matrix plan as well as come up with our own score and make sure that those two match, so. Their requested time frame is, I believe, 2 weeks from now,
Short time, yeah.
so. The proposed date for the
18th.
would be the 18th, I guess, for the board to score the master matrix.
And theirs will be in our,
I have theirs here.
They've already scored it.
They've already scored it. So it's in this packet and I'll forward the email to you with all of this information. I mean, it's about 80 pages. So,
Mhm.
so do you wanna just do it like 9-ish?
9
On the
o'clock.
18th,
on the 18th.
18?
That would give us
Okay.
30 minutes to do the,
Mhm.
anything that we have. I'll make a motion to set that time and date of the 18th at 9 AM. For that scoring of the master matrix.
I'll second. We have a first and a second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So on the approval of the denial of the application,
That'll happen
Yeah,
at that
that
time.
meeting.
The way that I understand it, like I said, I haven't read through the whole thing yet, but it currently scores at 480. And it needs to score at 440,
yeah,
I believe, to pass. So
it's
as long
about,
as-
they can make it work anywhere they want, there's so many gray areas in that.
So as long as it doesn't drop by more than 40 points, it still passes their master matrix plan.
Mhm.
So,
And that's basically scored on the setbacks, the land use, all this.
distance from natural river, distance from parks, distance from towns.
Cemetery.
Residences, cemeteries, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Proximity to ag drainage well closures or ag drainage wells or. Private tile lines, things like that.
We've only had one that got stopped that I can remember. The one over by Thor, that was-
Because it was too close to town.
No, they didn't care about 300 residents in Thor. It's too close to a business. the Stensons, they had a business in their home business. And it has to be further from a business than it does personal property. So
All right, that makes sense.
they got them stopped.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
all right,
All right.
anything else for Ben? Hearing none, got anything else for us?
Can, I guess formally let you guys know, obviously, we had an accident last week with, one of our maintainers over on 205th Street, west of Rutland. Maintainer tipped on its side. We are still awaiting additional information with regards to the amount of damage, drug and alcohol screening results of the employee, things like that. Because this isn't the first instance, after recommendation from the county attorney as well as HR, we decided to separate employment last week, so.
Okay. All righty,
At least you'll make a statement. Stay off your damn phones.
Yeah.
Cause I talked to another operator in Wright County. Everybody does it. Everybody's playing with their phones, and whatnot, changing the state. The hell, they're even watching movies while they're doing it. And it needs to be put in the handbook. It needs to be,
We need to update.
it needs to be updated. If you're gonna have a phone,
the
you
laws have changed too. so.
Yeah,
shut
well,
the
yeah,
machine
that-
off,
that may
put it
be
in park, whatever you need to do. But yeah, it needs to be stricter rules.
So the personnel policy as it stands needs to be updated and rewritten, especially with the law changes that took effect on July 1.
Hands-free.
You deal with private truckers. I know Bob Wolf, an employee of mine, also drives over the road truck. Ennis has a policy that if the operator gets a ticket, it's like a $10,000 fine from the state if they're not hands-free, and the employer also gets a fine.
Wow,
So,
that's a nasty fine.
that's
Yeah.
a pretty hefty fine for them, so, that's, I don't know if that's Ennis's policy or if that's statewide. Bruce could probably,
Well, 10,000 for being on a phone is through the DNR or
that's through
DOT.
the
But you'd be amazed to watch the amount of people that. You're sitting higher and you can watch, you can see what they're doing, and most of them got their head down and they'll meet a truck. Or another car, 60 mile an hour, 55, whatever. Their heads down and they're wandering to the shoulder across the center line.
It's gonna be a hard adjustment period, and not just for my employees. I mean, this is gonna be a hard adjustment period for
General
everyone. I mean, even with the passage of this law effective July 1, they're still allowing a 6-month grace period where the
Right.
sheriff's department or law enforcement is expected to issue a warning ticket, and then January 1 is when they clamp down. And I don't know, whatever the fine is, it's not enough. Is it $100? Is it $250?
It's by the time you tack on surcharges and import costs and stuff like that, again, it gets up closer to $200.
Probably like a seatbelt, pretty close, similar.
How many of you guys pick up? Have you noticed a lot of them, or they slow down, or you still picking up a lot, or you see a lot, I guess?
I don't think we've seen too much change for us yet.
So they're still doing it,
Oh, yeah.
so.
All right.
So let us know on the equipment. When you get it.
Yeah, Caterpillar was there on Wednesday to do an evaluation. I'm still waiting, obviously, for additional feedback. I'll let you know.
All right, thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
All righty, we'll go down and do committee reports. Oh, sure, I'm sorry, we should have that right away. Should have spoke that.
Like you guys a couple weeks ago approved the hire of Mr. Scott Birch and here he is today, so here he is.
All right.
Well,
Well, I did the introduction, I mean, really.
No.
nice that you worked on your speech.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He was the deputy sheriff in Humboldt County, and then he became the police chief in Sheldon for a while. And then he got hired, his wife works at Iowa Central as an instructor, he's got 2 children in school here, and he's been working on the Humboldt Police Department, now he's with us, so.
Good.
Welcome
We have
aboard.
him scheduled, he's gonna be doing 2 weeks of field training for us, 2 work weeks, so 12 working shifts. And then I'm eventually getting him in onto the schedule towards the end of the month. Where he'll actually be, it'll be primarily nights, his first 3 shifts will be the overnight schedule.
Mhm.
His first 3 shifts will be the overnight shift, and then he'll come back to 7 at night till 3:30 in the morning. Then he'll go into his 3 days off, so that'll be primarily shifts, so you probably won't see him here during the day very much, but, but just in case,
So look-alike for Thad Nave.
yeah, I can see
Yeah, I could pick that up.
Yeah.
When he walked in, I'm thinking, Thad?
Yeah, that's true,
Kind of.
yeah,
Well, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah.
thank you,
Okay,
appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan.
Hey, guys, thank you.
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah, today starts, all right, thank you.
Yep.
See you, Dean.
Yep, see ya.
I didn't have anything for last week. I was on.
Okay.
I had,
Yeah,
we had,
yes.
TFR Thursday night. Trying to think. Wasn't a long drawn out meeting, it was, the only thing I forwarded you guys all of that letter,
Yeah,
their request,
is that opioid?
yeah,
thing?
and they are. Having issues down there with, we have people that go down to CFR and. For the detox, and they have a set fee, sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever days for the person to go through the detox program. And when they do that, if they don't have the money, then that money gets. Either sent back to us, or, and I don't really know. They've talked about doing it through the opioid funding, and that was their proposal, and I forwarded you the letter. Michelle sent to us. And requesting, because there was several that. For the larger counties, it's a lot more than,
Mhm.
we have. Couple of months that get through there, but now having Des Moines and having the facility in Iowa City. Instead of just having 4, 5, 6 counties that were involved, now all of a sudden we have a pretty large area in the state, so they're requesting that to see if we would consider doing that, so.
How much they asking for, Bruce?
It probably would have varied, probably.
Yeah, it would be just,
Per
Well,
capita.
down, I thought it's, in the letter, it says 5,000, maybe I.
that's what they had, that's what
Last
they
year.
had for the last year.
Okay, well, we need to figure out what, cause we're using $10,000 a year out of opioid for Allison. I haven't got the full information yet on, from Kristen Sewell of Public Health. She wants to,
Rather than produce 2 different.
there's different trainings that can be done for, drugs from this, I think it's Tall Cop. So I haven't brought that up yet, cause I haven't got the full, cause I was gonna get with Trish too, so we just kind of see what monies we get. Do you know how much we get? I mean, I know how much we have in there now, right? You know how much we have in there now. What do we have in there now?
Offhand, I don't know.
Okay, so we'll just need to kind of figure out what there is offhand and kind of figure out what the,
Well, if these people don't have the insurance that says we'll pay for your detox,
mhm,
they
right,
get kicked out, or they don't
no,
get
I get.
to go through the system, and it's just one of them things.
No, I get that. We just gotta figure out how much money we're gonna have in the opioid and when that comes and. dole out from there.
reimbursing for our people down there is probably pretty high on the totem pole, I think.
Because if you don't, the hospital eats it.
Yes.
Yes,
Right. Everybody else
then we
is
have to have a deputy sheriff sitting out there, or if they're,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
out of control, they have
Right.
to have a police officer in there while they're in
Yeah.
that. So,
Right,
one way or another, we're paying for it.
right. No, I get that. I'm just saying we've got 4 years of 10,000 that we've designated already.
Yeah.
And so then we just need to figure out what we have. I'm just stating what we are.
Promise what we don't
Right,
have.
that's all I'm trying to say is we just need to figure out what,
Mhm.
right,
Budget it,
yeah. budget it.
basically budget it.
Right, budget it and see how that comes and
That
how
was
much
all I
money we
did,
have in there.
was CFR on Thursday.
Okay,
Oh, I knew.
let's see, no, Tuesday, the 29th, I had Good Neighbors at noon. We had a really good discussion on, they had an intern, look, and I think his name was Charles. And he put together a community calendar. And what it's doing is it's pulling from different websites, all the different websites within Humboldt County. So that there's one calendar that people can go to. And, so he's got that functioning and working. I'm not for sure when they're gonna release it, but that all came from the Good Neighbors because all these places, the churches, the county,
Yeah.
the towns all have different so we're trying to formulate it so that there's just one. And then also we talked about, again, good neighbors, what can we do to be good neighbors, and food insecurity is a huge thing. So that was one, a huge discussion. I'm on the 30th, Allison and I met with the Humboldt Hospital on, her role and what she can do and what she can do to help the hospital to alleviate, and it's kind of like, how do we keep people out of the jail? Again, that, in the jail diversion and, so she's also working with, right now with, a domestic situation. So she's doing a lot of different things.
How many counties is she working for again?
Humboldt or Pocahontas.
Just the two.
Just yep, just right now, just Pocahontas. We're hoping that if this is if she can prove the evidence base of this, that's what we're hoping for, is that it'll spread to different counties. If we can get the funding, there's a big need in all the counties for it right now. So when we talked with the hospital, which we all knew that the state had a wonderful goal, they just didn't have a plan. They still don't have people in place, even with the ASOs, and the DAP program, that's kind of the intellectual part of it, brain injuries. Yeah, they have one person for 4 counties. And it's turning into another, of course, we knew it was gonna turn into a cluster. And, yeah, so we're trying to do what we can to help as many people as we can with what resources we have, but the resources are very, very limited.
We seem to go in the other direction. They're cutting more things than they are promoting them.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
Yeah.
there's only so much as a county we can do because we don't
Right.
have any more money we had before.
Right, exactly, and that's what I'm saying, there's only so much, I mean, we're just kinda.
Yeah.
Figure out what,
the state always says, we'll just get rid of that gate, county take it over.
right, exactly, and it's put on our backs.
Mhm.
But Allison has already, I mean, the month of July, she's already, just in Humboldt County, there was almost, I can't remember, I think it was 37 or 38 people that she's been working with already. And
County.
just in Humboldt County. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she gets a lot of call, and she does it, she goes out, gets a lot of calls at night, and she'll just go out and do it. What, I mean, I don't know how she does it, keeps her sanity, I couldn't do it. Okay, that's it.
Done.
Okay, done.
Come to the Grassley meeting Tuesday. That was an eventful thing. I'm surprised nobody showed up. There was like 3 people in here.
Well, he didn't show
Was
up
he
himself, it
here?
was
No,
just his,
it was a representative.
it was just his rep, and that's why, if he doesn't show up, people don't come.
New experience.
Yeah, no, that's good.
How was it?
Long. There
Well-
was basically one-sided, and, everybody had a little opinion,
Yeah.
so I just sat and listened and,
Hmm.
Trish was there with me, so we learned a lot. So,
Like what? What did you learn?
there's a lot of things that people are upset that Mr. Grassley isn't doing that they thought he should do. Because it's changed so much since we have changed the demographics of Republicans from Democrats to Republicans, and they're very upset that some of the things are getting, the program's getting cut, the list just goes on and on.
Yeah.
So, that
Yeah.
was. I got a notice, there was a slough off Delana section 2, went up, took pick, yeah, we got Travis, he's gotta go fix that sometime when the beans get out. 102nd Street and 169. Come back, spent some time in the treasurer's office, figuring out how much money do we get per month when it isn't taxes? Put into our budget, trying to figure out our flow, our money flow. She printed me off a thing I really haven't spent a lot of time looking at yet, but I'll get there. Then I got the call the next day, there's water standing in the middle of the road up on 250th west of 169. Drove up, looked at it, took pics, stopped in the Ben's office, visited with him about it.
What was that?
That was Wednesday the 30th. Talked about the grader, went and looked at it, just went over a few things with Ben and yeah. Thursday the 31st, I called Betty Ellis and Sandy McGrath over in Wright County to figure out what they spend, how they spend their opioid money and what can be spent on, how it can be spent, and then trying to learn how to institute TIF into different things to get ahead of some of the things we've been talking about. Just to figure out how it works. Betty's a huge source of information, as if we didn't know that. I gotta thank her a lot for.
Yeah. How many years was she in auditor?
Huh.
A lot.
18,
Yeah.
something like that,
About, would have been 16.
16.
Maybe.
That's all.
I had meetings this month. All right, we're pushing 9 o'clock, so we'll move into
Make a
drainage.
motion to go into drainage.
We have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are in drainage at 9:01 or 2. Colin?
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
I'm just gonna drop them.
Oh, okay.
If you go back, let me know.
We got.
I would look for a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the
I think
public
that's
hearing.
enough, isn't it?
Terry, do you have copies of this that he's handing out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're comfortable staying back there?
No, I'm coming up.
Okay.
Then you grab that when they're done and then.
This is
Anybody grab that one?
So, yeah, it should be amendment 2 and pre-classification is what I was.
I have amendment 2.
I got both.
Oh, yeah, sorry, there was 2 things that went with
There's
everything.
pre-class. Anybody else need an amendment to?
Yeah, I do.
I don't have
Right
any.
here.
Oh, sorry. That was fair.
He needs
Well,
amendment.
she says she has a copy.
Yeah,
The next
y'all have
one?
to have 2 of them.
And too many of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
You
All
want-
right, we had a first
I'm
and
coming, I'm
second.
just waiting for my notepad.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's lollygagging.
Jeez.
Gotta blame it on somebody.
Did you get your motion? She-
I seconded it.
Yeah, we had a first and a second. I know she got it wrote down the other night. So listen. So I'm waiting for her to get that done and then
Okay.
I believe you were the first, and Bob was the second. Is that right?
Yep.
Get that. And then we opened the public hearing at 9:03. Okay,
Okay.
so we're on our public hearing on. That was sub 1 of 11.
Okay, yeah, good morning, everybody. So yeah, we had, our hearing 2 weeks ago and then we continued it to today. So kind of where we left off things with that was to go back and do a pre-classification. So I've done that. One thing before I get too far into anything is I want to, I misspoke at the meeting last, 2 weeks ago. Rick, you had asked the question about the design and well, maybe we should just pull up a map. So.
Which map?
In the amendment. I'm gonna look at this first map. So it's got. Like that.
Okay,
Okay.
So. The question was asked, there's this private tile. That's separate from the existing DD11 sub 1 tile system we were talking about improving. And Rick, you had asked, did I include those acres in the design of that? And I said that I had. I went back and looked and I didn't include those acres. So when I talk about a 1/2 inch coefficient or a 1 inch coefficient, those acres were not included in. Early on, there was some question on whether that private tile was when they were gonna tile that farm. They weren't aware of it and they wanted to check it out to see if they were maybe gonna use that or possibly, tile into this new system that we were talking about. So that's why there was some question as far as that goes, but anyways, I misspoke. I didn't factor those acres in. And my understanding is that tile is planned on being used, and so you can see here, there's that red chunk of it is 16-inch tile, and then it drops down to a 10, and there's an 8, and since our meeting 2 weeks ago, I've tried to do more research on where is there private tile out there. And Mark Scow, he found it, basically where that tile was put in 1966 and 1967. That showed the sizes and everything like that. So that's helpful to know more about what's out there. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about up front. And while we're talking about that private tile, that was part of the discussion too, about possibly making that a county tile. So after our meeting, I wanted to find out more about that tile, because we talked about there's just this tile out there, but how much of it do we make a county tile, and does everybody want it? And I've talked with basically everybody who's served by this private tile, and they're all interested in having at least something be made a county tile. It's just a matter of how much of it. I think at a minimum, if you follow that from the northwest corner where it outlets into a box, goes southeast and then curves and goes straight east, and then ends up at the east line of the east line of the northwest quarter of section 8. There's a yellow line there, not the one that curves south, but it ends kind of on the east line of that quarter. At least that should be, if you're gonna make something to be a county tile, in my opinion, it should be at least that. These two lines that curve to the southeast corner of that farm, one of the west one, I don't know what size it is. In the very southeast corner, in talking with David, it sounds like it's a 7-inch there, but I don't know much more about it or when it was put in or anything like that. Can see evidence of it on aerial images. And then the yellow one, that's an 8-inch, that Mark Scow, I don't know what year, that's fairly recent that was put in.
6-7 years ago.
Yeah. That's a that yellow 8-inch that curves.
8-inch perforated.
Yep, yep. So there's still questions on that, and we don't, I guess I wanna make it clear too, that we don't have to make a decision on this today. We're making a decision on improvements, but obviously the discussions we've been having, they're kind of connected. And so that's one thing that to me will cement in that these acres are not included with this project. In that if you make this a county tile, then you as the board of the board of supervisors acts as trustees for the district, would basically take over control of that tile.
So basically, you're saying all this right through here is all private tile,
Currently correct, yes.
okay,
Yep,
and this is the only.
yep, that stuff going south
All
is the
this is private too, and,
yes. Yep.
okay,
The blue lines on that map are county tile currently.
Okay.
Everything else is currently private, privates, yep,
okay.
yep. Um. Is there any, I don't wanna just skip over to the next thing, and is there any other comments from board members or landowners on any of that so far?
Colin,
Yes.
does the board get a copy of this map justifying that main that we're talking about?
No, I didn't give them, but that's that's what Mark
Yep.
sent me. So I know that's how we know it was put in and there was an agreement and everything, a private.
For you on the board, Brian Larson, my boss, drew that in 1966.
Okay,
He designed it. He knew that map was somewhere, and I'm glad that you found that. But my client did that.
any thoughts specifically on how far we go? I mean, I don't know if it makes much sense to go any further than just that line that's covered in that map.
So how many different landowners does this
It's
affect?
3,
3? Okay.
Yep.
So Mark, Dave, and who else?
Archer.
Archer
Archer Properties, okay.
Client, yes.
Just trying, okay,
that whole proposed that would be taken over by the district is all lays on.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll move on to the next stuff then. So in this. One other thing I wanna cover, so I did an amendment here, on the second page, I talk about. Alright, so we ended up. Go to the last page, we'll look at the map on the last page of amendment 2. So that's in the blue dotted line is the updated proposed tile routes. If you remember last time, we talked about instead of following this red loop to the east, we were gonna cut that shorter because they're planning on pattern tiling that anyways, and so we cut 600 feet off of it. So I went back and updated the cost estimate, so it took 600 feet off of it, but another thing it actually did, because it's a shorter distance, we could increase the grade, so I tweaked the grades a little bit in the design, and I was pretty happy that I could, alter some pipe sizing to get some additional cost savings. So I've got updated cost estimates for the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch drainage coefficient. So just for comparison, before it was 787,000 for the 1/2 inch, and now I'm at 700,000. The 1 inch was at $941,000 and now 811,000. So that was a good thing. And then the last thing really is the pre-classification. And so circling a little bit back to that private tile. In the pre-class, there's a dollars map, if you wanna pull that up. apologize for all the shuffling around, but. So there's a dollars map, and in the upper right-hand corner, you can see an area outline with a red dotted tile line, and I've got a note there saying 139 acres drained by private tile proposed to become separate district tile. And I did not include those as paying towards this project. I believe, and anybody in here can correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the reason why there was a thought in the room that those acres should pay is based on what I said about this new tile being designed to handle those acres. So if we designed it and made it bigger to be able to handle those acres, that makes sense that those acres should have to pay. But if it's a separate district tile that is not connected in any way here and is not going to be, there's really no benefit to those lands for this project. So there's really no way to ask those acres to help pay for this project. I know there was some talk about, well, they're in the district. With that, so with this, if we make that a county tile, what I would plan on doing, if we do the rest of this project, we would be doing it, we already did the pre-class, so we would do a reclassification at the end, which should be very similar to what is shown here. Along with that, we could set up an assessment schedule for this tile, so that if there's any work done on that tile, only these 139 acres are the ones that pay for that. And that's typically what we do with drainage district facilities anyways. We try to make it as fair as we can. So you're only paying for the tile or the ditches that you're actually using, and not ending up paying for stuff that's, a mile away that you have nothing to do with. So that's kind of how we would plan on handling that. Another thing to point out is in the northwest corner, it's on the west side of the road. There's another kind of an outlined area there, and that's the land served by lateral 3. And all that is a short little stub tile right in the northwest corner of section 8 that goes through Hawaii Avenue, and that's it. And we are proposing to do an upgrade of that. However, the actual project costs associated with that work are very small, because the vast majority of that construction is in county right away. And so secondary roads ends up paying the construction costs. Sorry, Ben. What?
That was like, huh?
You're thinking like, let's move that box out into the field, right?
Well,
Yes,
yeah.
it's a new junction box. Well, so if this is the one that I'm thinking of, some of the tile lines that dump into the box actually have a kink in them. If you look like 15 feet south of where this is at, it actually drops and then comes back.
Yeah.
So you have standing water.
It's a mess, right?
Outlets
Yeah.
for these tile are gonna have to be redone.
Completely redone, and that's part where you're involved, because it currently is in the right of way, that box.
Works fine for me.
Well, and it's not
Oh,
really,
they
yeah,
have it?
it's not, it's sort of a box. It's like
It's a bulkhead,
it's-
basically.
they took the box culvert and put a head wall on the end, basically. But it's the end of the box culvert that goes under C-26.
Yeah.
So anyways, as far as the pre-class goes, those acres didn't get a very large total dollar amount, because the construction cost is almost all going to county secondary roads. So they get a little bit of engineering fees, a little bit on the reclassification. But if you look at the dollar per acre, like you get $34, $48.
But they're gonna get the benefit from it though, even though the county is gonna be paying for it, those acres are gonna get the benefit from it, correct?
That's
So
correct.
shouldn't they have to have a little bit higher than what they're doing then?
Well, but
I mean,
You-
doesn't that
you-
make sense?
You
I
only,
mean, that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. If they're gonna get the benefit from it in
Well,
the,
you look at the cost of that box is gonna be spread over all these acres.
Are you
Right.
doing the box under the road or are you?
No, when I say box, it's more of a junction box or bulkhead or whatever you wanna call it.
basically, we're gonna have to take that
It's gotta
end
be
wall
bigger.
out and.
It's gotta be a lot bigger than what it is.
Well, we weren't gonna, I don't think we're upsizing that there's
No,
not
when
really.
I say not bigger in size, but bigger, cause there's so many pipes coming into it, it has to be enough wall for all these pipes to come in.
Right, yeah, we're going south, we're gonna put one big pipe in there and this lateral three, we're actually gonna tee into the pipe
Oh, we are.
further to the south. Because- For one thing, we're kind of into to the intersection a bunch where that box is actually at. And so I really don't want to cross the road that far north with the new lateral three. But I'd like to take that a little bit further south
Okay,
and hook that into this
gotcha.
main, 20 feet or less south of that box. So
Okay.
anyways. But as far as benefit, I get what you're saying. However, you basically do the benefit and you say, well, this is the dollar amount that it cost. And then you assess that out based on benefit. So their
But-
dollar amount is just a lot smaller.
but they're the ones that are getting the most benefit from that,
No,
correct?
it's the exact opposite, because we're the closest, so we can provide our own outlet, because we're right across the road. The people that are a mile away, their only outlet is through the county main. So the benefit, the farther away gets more. The closer you are, the benefit is less.
Because those acres are using about 20 foot or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you maybe can't. So there's just gonna be a little aisle that comes across the road and ends on this side of the road, and then they're gonna privately tile all that to here. And so the construction cost is gonna be in the road right away, and that's gonna be secondary road, so there's really almost zero construction cost for these acres. But they still need to be contributing to the project, obviously, but there's not a large amount of accessible project cost to these lands.
Cause their benefits only that 20 foot chunk you coming across the road.
Right.
Okay, good on that? Yep.
If there's any other comments or? Okay. And the rest of it, so the dollars map is based on the $700,000 project cost for the half-inch drainage coefficient. For the 1 inch, you just add 16% to those values. Or take those values times 1.16. And the benefits. We do this on a parcel by parcel basis, so for every parcel what you'd be looking at. For each parcel, we're looking at the soils. So naturally, the wetter soils that are most in need of drainage for good productivity, those are gonna have the higher benefit from adding better drainage. Distance from the facility, so if you've got lands that, just for example, all the way to the west here in section 7, they're gonna be kind of a far distance, some cases maybe 3/4 of a mile away from these proposed improvements. And so for them to be able to, they get less benefit because they're further away. So if they want to utilize that to its fullest extent, they still have to get their water
Yeah,
that much further, and it's that much additional expense. So they have a lower benefit versus people who have it maybe right on their farm that can just hook right in. Also the use of the facility, so, and we kind of touched on that a little bit ago, but basically if you're at the very north end and your water only flows through a short distance of this tile, you really didn't have a great need for big improvements to the south of you, cause it's not really draining your water. Whereas at the very south end, you know, you needed all that entire length of tile in order to realize the benefits. So basically pay more to be able to bring the tile all the way to those lands. The other, we've got a runoff factor, and essentially all that does is it bumps up county secondary roads just a little bit. For generation of additional runoff from more impervious area than farm ground. Not much, because it's within the right of way, you've got the road and you've got grass road ditches, so it's a slight uptick. Any questions at all?
Alan, what size tile are we talking for the 1/2 inch and 1 inch, or where it starts out at?
The 1/2 inch. I believe the 1/2 inch would start out as a 30 inch.
Okay.
And the 1 inch would be a 36. Yeah, and so.
Increases in grade and things like that, Colin, what kind of cover are you looking at on this? Just the first 500 feet or 1,000? Yeah, have you done any of that?
Yes. I believe it's at least 3 foot of cover.
On top of the 36.
Yeah,
See, that's awesome. Right now,
yeah,
the pipe is on top of the ground.
Mhm.
Just about.
yeah, that
It's
old,
almost exposed.
the original
Yeah.
clay tile, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, at a 36 inch, that'd be a perfect circle still, it wouldn't be an oval
Right.
shape.
That's concrete, not plastic.
Well, we
Yeah.
talked about that a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about bidding both ways. But yeah, not a circle pipe, not a arch or an oval or anything like that, you know. Any other questions, thoughts?
I don't know if we're to that point yet, but from I'm representing my clients, Archer Properties on the north end of it. For 16% increase, I definitely would propose going with the 1 inch coefficient.
Yeah, it's not a lot of,
Project.
not a lot of extra money for the double the size. What's your thoughts, Dave?
I'm gonna say if we don't go with 1 inch, I'm not voting for it because, we're paying the lion's share of this thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And, we are absolutely the wettest down there. We're paying the lion's share of it. And what the hell is 16% on it? What we're
Right.
already getting.
mhm. Okay,
Secondary roads, I guess I'm in favor of it, cause right now you've got 6 tile lines that all dump in that current bulkhead right now. It's like Swiss cheese.
yeah, it's a mess.
We're constantly trying to do repair or put more dirt back in and patch, so if you can clean up all of those connections and maybe get them a little bit further away from the toe of the force slope for us. So that it's less of an issue for us. I mean, that's a benefit to us.
We don't have any fiber in that ditch that, you know.
Well, the new fiber comes to that corner, but stays on the west side of the intersection in terms of goes north.
Okay.
And then stays on the west side of Hawaii running north. But I think there's an additional line.
I just know Humboldt City ran into a terrible mess when they found a fiber that they didn't know that it was in the ground. It cost them a ton of money and delays and.
I don't think you're gonna have anything as long as we're on the south side.
Okay.
Colin, have you had any issues with any wetlands or anything? The
Not in,
information you got, so.
not in this district.
So if we move forward with this, I know this is putting the cart before the horse, but if we went forward with this, are you thinking that you could push this thing through this fall? Is that being too aggressive?
That would be kind of the goal.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
If we could get it done so that we can bid it. And then hopefully get started on it, because we do it, it'll snow in October.
Yeah, so if, assuming it's approved today, the next step would be me basically putting together the plans and specifications, and I would try to get that done in a week or two. And then bring it back to you all for basically approval to put it out for bid.
Or pick a date.
And then we'd probably leave maybe about 3 weeks or so, have it out for bid, and then open bids and try to get them under contract as quick as possible.
Cause there's
So they can
people
get
looking for
going.
work.
Yeah,
Well, that's my
It's a-
goal or hope was that we'd be able to do it and get it, cause there's people that are anxious to.
yeah.
Get it going.
Mhm.
What do you think, Mark?
Okay.
I guess my other question, and I don't wanna cut you off, but my other question is that 139 acres that we're gonna bring in. Or however, there will be an agreement written up that says this was private, but now it's pulled into
Yeah,
the district, and how is that?
so I think as far as procedurally, that should be a separate from like a separate motion or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
To bring that in, and before we would do that, I just wanna make sure again that if we're on the same page as far as what we're bringing into the district. On this dollars map, I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about, is the minimum of what I would think should be brought in, and that'd probably be enough. If we go beyond that, it gets a little more tricky because we know less about those tiles.
Well, by the time this thing is in conclusion area, then I'm gonna be sitting over in that chair, and I don't want to be getting scolded that I voted for this in September or October, whenever. And then all of a sudden it goes south, and we got 2 or 3 guys that are calling me on a daily basis saying, how did this, I just wanna make sure it's all done.
Yep.
Would that
Everybody's
have to
settled.
be an annexation, or it's
No.
it's already in the watershed?
Yeah.
All these lands that we're talking about here are already in DD 11 sub 1, so actually.
They actually separated out into a separate sub.
Well,
Or
no,
lateral or whatever.
cause actually DD 11 sub 1 is all the lands that are served by that ditch. So there's a ditch that goes to the north and
Yeah.
hooks into the DD 11 main open ditch. So everything, all the acres that are served by that ditch are in DD 11 sub 1. So this is the main tile, and there's some
Means
laterals.
it's gonna be tied into the main just outside of the bulkhead, we consider like a lateral. Is that
Well,
what-
this one actually will still, it's into the bulkhead already. We're gonna leave that
You're gonna
like
leave
it
in the
is.
bulkhead,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But we are gonna have an agreement on paper and everybody's gonna sign it before we vote on anything. Yeah,
Agreement on paper.
about the lateral.
So what you're wanting, you wanted this project done first before we jump to the next one?
Absolutely.
That's what you're
That's
saying?
mandatory, right, Mark?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's gotta be done.
You in agreement that it will
It'll
be
be done.
voluntarily handed over.
Which, what do you mean? No?
Yeah.
That it'll become a county main.
Yes, I agree with that, because we're gonna have it on
Yeah.
paper saying that it is.
How long would that take to get done?
So. I guess in my opinion, especially because there's representatives from all the lands that are served by that tile. If in this room you say, yep, we want that to become a county tile. I believe that the trustees can adopt it as a county tile today. If we wanna go the next step further, we could have something that everybody signs that says, yes, I want it. And then the board does the same thing, but if everybody's in the room and then you have a motion and it's all approved and it's in the minutes, it's recorded, And then when we move forward with the rest of it, we'll classify that as its own district facility, have its own schedule, and it'll be set up, moving forward. So for a little bit, it'll be a county tile, but have no separate assessments yet, until we're done with this project and get the rest of it.
Then it'll be classified. And
That's
then
right.
we have an amount.
Yep.
Okay.
But we all need to sign an agreement so everybody knows what's going on.
I don't know the answer.
50 years down the road, Mark's the only one that come up with what the agreement was when they hooked up 50 years ago. I mean, everybody needs to put that with their papers and their farm. papers.
Well, for sure, if it's a private tile, that's more how that process works, but once it becomes a district tile. If it's in the records with the drainage district, with the county, like it's a district tile. You shouldn't need that, like it's gonna be a county tile.
Currently, Archer Farms owns this private main,
Correct. Archer property.
Archer
It was
property,
an agreement back when it was put in,
okay?
but we would like to, all of us today agree to have it turned over to the district and let you guys take care of it from this point forward.
Yes. Okay,
Because it will end up costing us a little more because you'll end up paying for hearings and different things like that, which are part of these policies, but.
but it,
Will be maintained, it will be taken care of, everyone knows that you can use it as an outlet, that type of thing.
gotcha.
And I don't mind, David, if you're more comfortable with having it that way, where the landowners have signed a thing saying, yes, we want to turn this over to make it a county tile. And then do this step, it doesn't have to be today, right now. If you're more that's fine by me, if you'd rather do it that way.
How about we do it this way? We'll make a motion to accept the county tile, accept this tile from the landowners to become a private tile upon their signatures.
That-
To become a county main
County
upon
main.
their signatures.
I mean,
That way, we
that-
can get it moving, get the paper signed, it's done.
Well, this meeting
Is
is
that-
full of documents.
Yeah, I just put something to sign here.
Yep,
Mhm.
okay, I can get that put together.
But we also want to have a comfort level with the landowners though too, even though this all is a legal document, the notes and anything like that, we want landowners to be comfortable and.
So we could look at a motion that to speed this process along so we can get to the next step. To receive this and have it become a county main from the landowners upon their signatures of all landowners involved.
Dave and Mark, are you
Something like
good with that?
Yeah, that's just what we're discussing here, yeah, we're very comfortable with that.
That way we can get it moving today and then all we need is the signatures and then it's done.
Okay, I will make that motion to move that private tile into a county main. And that will be contingent on the signatures of all the landowners.
Second,
How much of that tile are we including the sub mains coming off of that, or? I don't
think,
care, I just curious,
I was looking at the map earlier.
What's this right here, isn't it?
So it's
just the red.
the red, the green, and then that yellow that goes up to the line fence. That goes straight off the end. Is that correct, Colin?
See here.
The 16 inch,
Yes.
the 10 inch, and then that yellow 8 that goes straight on the east up to the line. Or the,
It's right
Yeah,
here,
none of the
it's right
laterals
here.
go to the south.
no, not where the laterals that go to the south.
This one.
Yeah, this one right here. Nothing that goes down this way.
Right.
Just this one right here.
Yeah.
That's my private tile, the one in the first round there.
Mhm.
That much.
The yellow
I
one.
just want my little bit of ground that goes into that drain and I can mess with. Now, that's still private to me if we're going to that one. So. Does that give me the right to be able, does that give me rights to be hooked into that if. Lateral, what we're gonna call it, or whatever it is.
If it becomes a county
County
main,
main.
you can tile over to it.
I already have.
Yeah, but you can
Right.
add more to it if you
Well, I
want.
don't need to, I'm just saying that's my hookup right now. I need to cover myself,
Mhm.
make sure that's gonna keep draining.
Correct.
That'll be your outlet,
That'll be your county main outlet.
maintained, I should say.
County
Yeah,
main.
that's right. That's my- I'm going with it.
Yeah. Yep.
So would that be classified as a county main or a lateral? Or
Yeah,
what is the
I was
terminology
thinking
that
about
her
that.
motion needs to state? I didn't find a
Let's call it lateral 8.
lateral main.
Eight.
Alright. Okay, is everybody clear on this?
Yeah.
Any more discussion at all? We had a first and second, didn't we?
Yep, first and second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. So that process is started. All we'll need to get is the landowner signatures. And that will be taken care of.
Okay.
If this is
And
wrong,
Colin-
Terry will be mad at all of us.
Yeah, I think we've discussed it long enough. I think it sounds good. Everybody's kind of in agreement. Even Ben's in agreement, so that's good. How about you, Matt? Are you good with it? All right. Seeing you up on stage the other night, you were enjoying the evening.
That's why he fell down when he came in here.
Okay. Now, the next step back to sub 1 of 11.
Yeah, so I guess the question that I have then is. It sounds like maybe we don't
Bid the
do
1
that,
inch.
we just bid the 1 inch.
There's no need to
I'm
waste
fine
our
with
money
that.
doing the half. Okay, don't waste our time on the half.
Okay.
We're gonna bid
You
it
wanna-
concrete
Do you
and
wanna just,
plastic.
I was gonna say, do you want plastic on just for a sidekick or?
It hasn't never hurt anything. I don't know what's right and wrong here, fellas. We put that other plastic in and I was very happy with it.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know where they haul it all, but over by Eagle Grove, those trucks go all day,
Somebody-
every day. Somebody put it in the ground somewhere.
I know
So
Minnesota uses a ton of it.
Mhm.
We've used it on a lot of projects. I mean, we don't have any problem. It comes down to just like concrete, like I said.
Installation.
Installation,
Yeah.
and how your contractor does.
Right,
so bid it both ways.
The best thing is there's a lot less joints.
And certain conditions.
And
And
this
it's pros
is
and
not
cons.
gonna be in the ground 20 feet either. This is
No.
gonna be in the ground 5 feet.
Yeah, it's a lot shallower.
Foot to the bottom,
Yeah.
yeah,
a lot easier to
so
handle.
you won't have the weight, as much weight and stuff, yeah.
Okay.
So do we need to make a motion on that,
Yes.
District 11 sub 1 to start the bid process?
For 1 inch coefficient for plastic and concrete bids.
Correct?
Colin,
Yes, sir.
where you guys straighten that out, you know, and we're cutting off the distance,
Yeah,
how deep is the cuts there? Deepest, right?
it's a little bit deeper, maybe 10 feet or so.
Okay, so it's still not,
Yeah.
not yet, not like that. Good.
Okay, so I'll make that motion for, District 11 sub 1 to be a 1 inch coefficient bid for plastic and cement.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So. You'll get those specs all put together and come back with us when you're ready.
Yep.
And we'll. Get it out for bids.
Sounds good.
So how soon will that go out for bids then?
Well, I would like
Depends
to,
how much sleep he gets.
yeah,
Well, that was the other question I had. Did the baby come?
so we had the meeting 2 weeks ago today, and then it was that night. But I guess it was the following morning at 3 in the morning, but
Oh
Where'd
my
it go?
God.
Reg.
That was-
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So you didn't have the computer at the birth?
nope.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Smart move. My son was doing work while everyone was busy. And he got his butt chewed. But don't take the computer in there.
Oh my God.
Okay, being as we still have you here, we're gonna have some discussion on 126, our repair we did out here.
Okay,
That's where they dumped dirt in, filled the pipe.
Back to
full of
what
dirt.
Colin said, What date are we looking for as far as bids?
So I'd like to have the plans and specs ready in a week or two. And so then at that point, I would bring it back to the board and then we would put it out for bid.
Out for bid.
So we're looking
Probably
at
another
August.
3 weeks before we would open them.
Do they need to okay when you bring it back? In
Yes.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I just want to make sure that everybody understood that. Yeah.
Okay, so out here on 126, where we had an intake that we dug up.
Okay.
Found the pipe, it was pretty full of dirt, about, it was a 15, I believe, isn't it?
I think so.
And it was probably had an inch of water, you know, so it is clear back to the top of the dirt. Contractor went up, I don't know, 150 feet, dug it up, rolled a hole in it. It had about 2 inches of. That wasn't full of dirt. Went up to the fence line, which was, I think it was, can't remember how many feet that was. And still full of dirt. We finally got to a point where we only had about 5 inches of dirt in the pipe, and that's where we stopped. Dug it up. And we talked to a couple different contractors. I visited with you what we thought would be the best suggestion. We just dug it up, cut it, hooked on plastic. Ran parallel up to where it hooked on to the clay 12 and the other lateral said to me that part. So it got way more expensive than we thought it was going to be when we started,
Yeah.
like 80,000 instead of 40.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
So. That lateral serves small acres. It serves 2 farmers, basically. The one is gonna get hammered pretty hard, but he's also the one that dumped several truckloads of dirt into a hole that filled the pipe.
And it was his tenant that came in to report the pipe. Which he has
Issue.
come in, I think every year, every time it's been fixed, it's been his tenant come in.
Okay.
And have we got any pictures back from Doug Monson, original?
No, he told me he was going to, but I have not.
Okay. So we're not 100% sure where the repairs were made. Or back 2-3 years ago when they dug it up. And then, I don't know if it's a different spot that started sucking dirt, but that 15-inch was full and it was like rock hard in that thing. We talked with, I think I talked to Gary Jensen, I talked with Doug Marso. They both said it ain't worth digging it up and trying to clean it out and relaying it. Because you'll break more of them and then so that's what we did. So we got it fixed. Now the landowner's gonna get a nasty bill, but I'm afraid that's just what happens when you do stupid stuff.
mhm.
So hopefully we'll get some pictures from Doug and
I'll call him again today and see where he's at with it.
And they fixed that just this summer or
This spring.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, that's when you get it that long of a stretch with dirt that full.
you can't wash it out.
No, if it's a short little stretch,
I
sometimes.
mean,
you
we
can
would have been
blast it
hauling
out.
tankers of
Yeah.
water out there to get it washed
I
out.
think they did try jetting it.
They did try
Failed
jetting it and
miserably.
it wouldn't
Right.
do nothing. It
Yeah.
was like cement. It was mainly rocks. I mean, I was surprised how much rock was in there. Gravel. Cause the dirt, I think, had washed away and it was
Oh,
hard. So. Well, I'm sure we're gonna have an angry landowner come in and complain to us, but. What do you do?
yeah, yeah, it had to get fixed.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what
mean, we
else.
could
to
have
do.
stopped the process when we realized it was getting more expensive, but. Spring was coming on, planting was coming on, then we'd have crop loss with all this rain, it all would have drowned it out. So,
Yeah,
and all I we could do, it had to be fixed,
right,
so.
okay. Yeah, really the only, cause you can do repairs up to a really large number. It's
Mhm.
just a matter of, I think if it's over 50,000.
So 50,000, you're supposed to have a hearing.
Meeting, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So that's the issue you run up against. So,
Yep. Yeah, but if there was gonna be no different outcome. if
no,
you
the
had it.
outlook,
It
the
just
outcome is the same, it's just
Yeah.
whether you had the hearing or not.
Yeah,
And if we had the hearing or not. it
would have delayed it.
Would have got delayed, and with all this rain, it would have got fixed this year. So they would have lost acres, you would have crop loss, and you still have the same expense.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it wasn't like, oh, we won't do it.
Right. Yep, you gotta keep these things in repair, so.
So. Just information for the board.
I want to give you a little more information for the board, and we found another one here just this spring, fellas, all of a sudden the water's boiling up out of the ground. And when the last guy that dredged that ditch up there north, across the road from where my brother Tom lives. That guy put a new bank pipe in there and he did such a piss poor job. Each end was probably 1.5 feet higher than it was where he just dumped dirt in, bent the pipe down, collapsed the pipe, and you know what happened. It don't take long and it's not
He
working.
put a new pipe in and then bent it.
Yeah, he didn't dig a flat bottom.
Oh my
Can we
gosh.
smash the middle kind of?
Matched the middle down, the middle was by that much lower than each end.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's just, and then right on the other side of the ditch, you know, we just took them bank pipes and just pulled them up with the excavator, bent them off and pinched them off, and that ruined all the tile. We had to replace all that tile because of that. Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't get a good contractor.
who was that?
I don't know. I think it's somebody from Western Iowa, but guys, this is 20 years ago. It
Oh,
was-
no wonder I don't remember.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, me too. I was like sitting there thinking, oh God, when did that happen?
You don't get a good contractor.
I'm trying to think back
Going
when,
out here, that guy just took that pipe completely out. And didn't even put it back in, and you know, we had to go in and fix all that stuff too. That's just, you know, same story.
Mhm.
If we, isn't it though, even if somebody comes in lower and we know that they're not a rep, you know, somebody that we can still go with a
You can
different bid,
reject
can't
them
we?
if you have reasonable cause,
Okay, that's what I
but
thought.
you gotta have
Self it.
reasonable cause to reject them.
It's like the
Yeah.
lowest responsible bidder, I think is the legal mumbo jumbo. But we can ask if, especially if it's people we haven't worked with, you know, you can
Yeah,
ask
you
for
know,
references and.
We checked the references and said we didn't get good returns on the references, that's a reasonable cause.
Yeah,
so at the time that the bid come in, you could say, we're gonna table this.
yeah.
All
Until we
make
get
reference
references.
checks and then say
Okay,
the next week.
Yep.
I just wanna make sure that we can, there's some recourse that we can do if we, you know, have a question as to the lowest bidder.
So, I'm just gonna, back to 126. Terry's gonna send out these to the two landowners. that
I'm
are
gonna send
involved.
out letters. I had originally assessed to all of 126. Then after looking at it, it looks like it should just be the lateral too. I was gonna send out letters to the landowners that I have sent that have gotten assessments to let them know that they did not owe that amount, and then letters to the
Okay.
two saying that they will get a different assessment shortly, and then I'll get that as soon as possible, so.
Yeah.
And I think we probably should send a letter of why, so
Explaining.
explaining why,
Thanks,
so.
gentlemen.
That makes
Thank you.
sense. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, so they're gonna say, geez, why is it so high? And just, we'll just might as well go up front with them and tell them why it's so high.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah. Do you ever remember running into something like this, or is this isolated, or?
Not very often. I mean, there's always. Not exactly this.
Where's my?
We've had other issues.
It's a high school, water right behind Chat, the main comes through Phil Naves and goes off west from 169, just southwest of the high school.
Turn at the first corner, go towards Jim Feeble's old home place on the east side, ain't it?
Yeah. Natives live right there. You go straight across from her house, now they wear it for, Okay. Anything else for drainage today?
With that, I'd make a motion to go out of drainage if you don't have anything else.
I'll second.
Anything else we need to talk with Trish about?
The only thing I was gonna bring up was I forgot, we have, mobile food pantry is next Thursday, the 14th at 4:30.
I can go get Trish.